Speaking of the zone, it was low strike on McMahon there. Was it that, or was it just kind of building throughout the first couple innings?
It was the first couple innings. So.
Did you feel like you had said something that?
I mean, I was on him a lot. So, that's over and done with.
You're not supposed to get on the umpires. You've been kicked out of 45 games as a Yankee manager. You've been kicked out of 5 this year. No one comes to get between you and the umpire. Do you notice that, Boone? No one comes to save you, man. And your team doesn't listen to you. The umps don't listen to you. The fans don't want to hear from you. So, Aaron Boone, you've lost everybody, not only the game today and the series to the Astros, but you're not going to lose your job. Somebody make that make sense. Somebody make that make sense.
Exactly. Driven deep to left field. There it goes. See it just like that. Altuve in this series is 5 for 9. And he
Good evening and welcome to another installment of the New York Minute Sports Show. And Yankee fans, we have a meltdown. Astros eat our lunch in the Bronx again. We've got highlights. We got Aaron Boone's post-game press conference. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. It's New York Minute Sports. It's New York sports for New York nuts. Let's go!
It's New York Minute Sports. It's New York sports talk with sports nuts.
Well, the Yankees do exactly what we thought they were going to do and lose the series to the Houston Astros, who are more fundamental, more driven, and a better ball club. Welcome to New York Minute. You know what? I can't get too upset for what I knew what was going to happen, but I told you so. I said the funeral of the New York Yankees was going to be this Sunday, and I told you so. Because this just showed a glaring problem with the New York Yankees is that they are just not good. I'm sorry to say it, but the Yankee fans, and I have to call out some Yankee fans today because some Yankee fans are still delusional and in la-la land and think that we're a good team and actually think that they got the balls to say F. Altuve since 2017, and the guy's been doing nothing but kicking our ass since then. Jose Altuve since 2017, 16 home runs, 24 RBIs, a batting average of .286, 6 leadoff home runs, and 3 chips. That's 3 rings for Jose Altuve, while the Yankees have 0. That's like picking a fight with the town bully over and over and getting your ass kicked every single time. But this time, the town bully is 5'4", and you keep coming back for seconds, and you keep coming back for more, and you keep getting those binoculars out from that cuck chair. So maybe the dudes whose favorite Nick of all time is Carmelo Anthony, maybe the dudes who sit in the cook chair at the Holiday Inn in Nassau County don't know baseball should stop egging this guy on and should stop saying F. Altuve because guess what? It's not working. I'll give you a chant that worked. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? To Pedro Martinez, literally made him bust the game on the Red Sox, made him bust the game in the 2009 World Series on the Philadelphia Phillies. Worked like a goddamn charm. But the younger Yankee fans think that they can have 0 rings in their experience and yell F. Altuve the whole time. Guess what? It's not working, guys. The same guys that say F. Altuve are the same dudes that actually go and pay to get a name on their back of the Yankee jersey. Not only do they get a name on the back of their Yankee jersey, they get their own goddamn name on the back of the jersey. So this is the clown show that we're dealing with. These are the fans that just go there and worry about the steakhouse and worry about the ice cream and the small goddamn helmets and worry about everything else than watching the goddamn game on the field. All I know is that the old stadium, every time there was 2 strikes, Everybody was out and up and clapping to get that strikeout. Everybody was into the game. Now there's so many distractions. Now everybody's on their cell phone, and now everybody's too worried about the goddamn bullpen entrance music that they've gotten lost sight of the goddamn game. You know, I used to sit in the bleachers. They didn't even let me stay in the rest of the stadium. The old Yankee Stadium had the right field bleachers cordoned off from the rest of the stadium. You couldn't buy beer. You couldn't bring food in. You showed up, watched the game, and left and said, thank you for letting me into the stadium because I don't have enough money to sit anywhere else. So this is where I've come from. I've seen over 386 Yankee games in my lifetime, okay? And I'm telling you, the younger Yankee fans need to stop putting their names on the back of the jerseys, and you need to stop saying, fuck Altuve, because guess what? He's been fucking you. The whole vibe is off in the stadium. The fans aren't into it. The players aren't into it. The managers aren't into it. Everybody's in a goddamn haze, and no one's doing anything about it. Talking about insanity and doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results would be the Yankees starting pitching going past 5 innings. So now the Yankees, after today, Max Fried did not go 6. The Yankees are 5-40 with their pitchers going more than 5 innings since June 29th. And Cam Schlittler has 2 of those 5, which is really good for him, which is a really sad state of affairs for the rest of the Yankees team. Now, the Yankees, I said this, that Carlos Rodon and Max Fried, they should have missed a start. They should have let them bring some guys up from AAA, or they should have let Marcus Stroman pitch until his arm fell off to stop up some starts and let these guys get a rest. Warren, Fried, Rodon has taken the ball every time asked this year, and they have come up. But now you can see they're running out of gas, and you can see that they're hitting a wall, and Max Fried can't pitch past the 5th inning. He's doing well when he's in. Also, by the way, see this highlight? Hedrick has been doing an excellent job. And that brings me to my next story real quick, is that Tim Hill, we didn't see him until the 8th inning of the 3rd game of the series. Because why? Is there a rift going on between Aaron Boone, Tim Hill, and the New York Yankees? Let me know in the comments below. Because why did we not see him until the 8th inning? And then he got shelled because, yeah, you haven't seen him. He hasn't pitched. They had a day off, and he hasn't pitched in the last 2 games. So he's rusty. But I don't know why they refuse to bring him in big spots. Then we get to what should have happened a very, very long time ago. Devin Williams comes in the 6th inning, and as a joke, I posted on Instagram, that's New York Minute, NEWYRKMIN on Instagram. I was like, finally, Aaron Boone makes the right decision and brings William in on Jonathan Loizaga time, as I like to call it, the 5th inning. And guess what? I started thinking, Aaron Boone got kicked out of the game. So he doesn't get credit for making the good move. It's Brad Ausmus. So you're telling me Brad Ausmus was the manager of this team for more than 2 seconds, and he already made better moves than Aaron Boone in the game, which proves that he should be fired once again. And that's another thing. Aaron Boone got thrown out of his 5th game this season. That's the 45th game of his career as a Yankees manager. Now, the reason that managers get kicked out of game is to maybe wake the ump up, is maybe to wake his ball club up and get a spark. But the thing is, when you get kicked out all the time, it loses its power with the clubhouse. In fact, it loses its power with the umpires. You don't think these umpires are getting together after the games, having a few beers and being like, that Aaron Boone's a real asshole. And it's human nature until the robo-umps show up and you got a guy chirping in your ear for the last 4 seasons like Aaron Boone has been doing to the umpiring staff around Major League Baseball. They will have it out for you, and they will get even, Aaron Boone. And I think that's what's happening with a lot of strikes and balls calls, because if you notice, liked managers get a little bit more rope when they do come out and argue, and they do get the benefit of the doubt in strikes and balls counts. It's a human game. And that's what kills me is when everyone looks at analytics and looks in a book when you're talking about baseball. Here's Devin Williams in the 6th inning, strikes out the side. And everyone was hitting me up and going, why is he striking out the side? Oh, is he good? No. Low leverage situation with nothing on the line. The guy's great. Everybody's good. Everybody's good at Jeopardy on your couch by yourself until you're in front of Alex Trebek, the mustache, and under the hot lights, and you choke. Everybody's good with no pressure on them. That's what makes the New York Yankees, and when they do succeed, that much better. It's crazy, the pressure. Look what we did to Joey Gallo. Look what we did to Sonny Gray. Look what's going on to Devin Williams. And you know what? Devin Williams is Joey Gallo 2.0. Joey Gallo's a pitcher now. Maybe Devin Williams should become a batter. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I think that the Yankees think that they can just turn it on the last month, but guess what? They're not that good. With their pitchers not going more than 5 innings, without the timely hitting, and guys like Austin Wells not producing at all with runners in scoring position and regressing instead of progressing, this is what we got. But you know what we do have? A bonehead, clown, buffoon manager, Aaron Boone, with the post-game press conference.
Kind of giving us a problem. But just
This afternoon, what was Alexander doing?
yeah, I mean, I don't think he made a lot of mistakes.
This afternoon, what was Alexander doing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he made a lot of mistakes. And his changeup was good, kind of giving us a problem. But just, you know.
Look at that line right there. 20 runs, 173 average, 257 on base, 258 slugging. So the Yankees have run into really good pitching, Miami, Texas, and now the Houston Astros. Or are the Yankees getting into another swoon, another offensive swoon at that? But the Yankees are still in 3rd in Major League Baseball in runs scored. So they're literally a walking conundrum and an anomaly wrapped in a riddle.
We gotta be able to muster more than that. Just didn't pressure him enough at all. Obviously, no hits there, and But that said, we knew he came off a good outing in his last one.
I mentioned chants that work before, and I mentioned Pedro Martinez and Who's Your Daddy. Pedro Martinez is one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Do you know how the Yankees owned him? What they would do is for the first 5 innings, they really wouldn't even concentrate on scoring runs. They would concentrate on getting that starting pitcher out of the ball game. They knew as soon as they got Pedro to 7 innings, he would run out of gas. They would have to go to the bullpen, and that's when they would strike and their opportunity would present itself. But they don't do that to pitchers. They don't make them work. I looked today, and that guy Costanza had and the pitcher, Jason Alexander, I just called him Costanza from Seinfeld. That's amazing. But Jason Alexander, the pitcher for the Houston Astros, he had like 76 pitches by the 6th inning. The Yankees do not make anybody work. They do not make any pitcher's life more difficult. All they do is hit home runs, work station to station, and all I heard was how athletic this team was going to be this year with stealing bases and the athleticism. It's Frankenstein wearing moon boots. They all look like Stanton. Nobody steals any bases. All I heard was Anthony Volpe coming out of the farm system, how many bases he was going to steal. First rookie to go to 20 and 20, 20 steals and 20 home runs. I don't care how many stats the Yankees make up. No one steals goddamn bases on this team. And then the guy from Tampa Bay they got, who leads the majors in stolen bases, never plays. And then when he does, he doesn't hit.
Against Miami, and then followed it up today. Felt like we had some good matchups there, and just couldn't punch through.
You said you need to pressure more. What would you have liked to have seen differently in their approaches?
I don't really have a problem. I don't think we were overly aggressive or the other way either. I thought.
See, that's the problem. Boone makes a statement and then he backs off. Watch exactly what he does. He makes a statement and then he backs off. He's wishy-washy.
Would have liked to have seen differently in their approaches.
I don't really have a problem. I don't think we were overly aggressive or.
We didn't really work them hard. I really don't have a problem. No, you weren't aggressive enough. Just say it, Boone. You can say shit like that. You're the manager, man. Listen, your job's going to be on the line. Or at least we think, as a fan base, we think that your job's on the line. So start owning this. Because when you're sitting at home or you're doing the playoffs for Fox next year when you get fired, you're going to be like, you know what? I should have said that. Or I should have told that reporter this. Or I should have done that. Don't have any regrets, man. Leave it out all on the table. You're willing to go out there and get thrown out of a game in the drop of a hat. At least say it here. They weren't aggressive. You weren't happy with their approach at the plate. They were sleepwalking, and I'm fucking pissed. I shouldn't be more pissed than the manager of the New York Yankees.
Or the other way either. I thought, the zone was a little, all over the place, but at the end of the day, we just, we got to be able to create
0 extra base hits. Where's Aaron Judge? Okay, either if you're hurt, sit. If you're not, play. None of this half-ass shit, dude, because you don't look right. You don't look comfortable. You don't look healthy. You can't play the field. Stanton is hitting well. Just sit down if you can't come back because you're a shadow of who you are. And I don't want to hear it in the comments because Aaron Judge has not been pulling his weight in the second half of this season. Look at his home runs. Look at his RBIs. His average is plummeting. And he's not healthy. So he needs the help with the extra base hits. Austin Wells needs to be benched. Every time somebody gets on base, Austin Wells is lost. He can't produce any more runs. He's another one that's fallen off a cliff in the second half of the season. Enough's enough, man. Put the guys in that are going to hit RBIs and that are going to produce.
Create some traffic, whether that's through swinging the bats or our patience, and we just weren't able to do it today.
Speaking of the zone, it was low strike on McMahon there. Was it that, or was it just kind of building throughout the first couple
innings?
It was
the first couple innings. So.
Did you feel like you had said something that?
I mean, I was on him a lot, so that's over and done with. It's
not a good thing, Boone. I was on him a lot. You're not supposed to get on the umpires. Maybe if you spoke to the umpire like a gentleman in between innings, you can get your point across. Because obviously, you getting kicked out of games. You've been kicked out of 45 games as a Yankee manager. You've been kicked out of 5 this year. Games are usually made to make a statement to their ball club when you do get kicked out, and no one gives a shit that you get kicked out. No one comes to get between you and the umpire. Do you notice that, Boone? No one comes to save you, man. And your team doesn't listen to you. The umps don't listen to you. The fans don't want to hear from you. So, Aaron Boone, you've lost everybody, not only the game today and the series to the Astros, but you're not going to lose your job. Somebody make that make sense. Somebody make that make sense. Please.
What it is, and that isn't the reason we lost this game. So we gotta find a way to put it all together, and we weren't able to do that again today.
Talk before the game about Fried getting ahead of guys, and it seemed like he did that quite a bit this afternoon, but couldn't put guys away. Just why do you think he was not able?
Yeah, that they had a pretty good plan again.
This is about Max Fried not being able to strike guys out and only been able to go 5 innings and his struggles lately.
And some I thought took some things away, moving towards them, which probably created some shots at the other side of the plate. And it did. It felt like a lot of 1-2, 0-2, 2-2, and just having a hard time putting them away. And then that last inning really just.
So what does that come down to? Does that come to he's tired, needs to miss a start? Does that come down to with communication with the catcher and the way that the game is being called? Is the game being called by Brad Ausmus out of the dugout? Are the signals coming from Aaron Boone? Is Aaron Boone calling the pitches? Because I'm pretty sure Max Fried's calling his pitches. So what can happen is that Ben Rice has been catching him, and they could not be on the same page. But then the blister in the finger, there's a lot of variables that it could be that he's not getting guys out. But we know Max Fried is not being efficient when he should be punching guys out. He gets 0-2, and then it works full count, and he walks a lot of guys.
Me made him work and kind of weighted him out a little bit, but it's just getting to that next layer of commanding the ball how he wants. And, today I thought he did a good job of getting ahead, but just having a hard time putting guys away.
Gary.
Have you noticed anything that's been off with Max that's kind of prevented him from having this command over the stretch? Obviously, he had the blister, for a couple.
Yeah, I don't think that's a factor. Like once he's through that, like the blister is what it is. Like if you have it, you can't go. But so I don't think that's been the issue. And again, I think going in today, this is the last several. It's been kind of getting ahead and gaining count leverage consistently. And today I felt like he had that. I don't know what the final numbers are as far as that, but today was having a hard time just putting guys away. And I think it is just putting the ball in that next level of where he wants it. Cause I do think his stuff is good. He's throwing hard. The cutter looks good to me. The break on his pitches are good. It's just, ultimately pitching at a level like Max does comes down to commanding it, throughout. And I feel like there he's been a little bit scattered.
Nothing in particular that you've seen from him that's.
So Boone's saying it's not an injury. It's more control than anything else. But guess what? When you're tired, that's when your control is lacking. And then when your control is lacking, that's when injuries start to sneak in. And please, let him skip a start. Let Carlos Rodon skip a start. Bring some guys up. Do a bullpen game. You have enough clowns in that clown car to do a bullpen game. You need to rest them real quick and then go for the final swoon of the end of the season. Buffoon.
Prevented him from getting to that point.
No.
Chris?
What have you made of the offense really since the All-Star break? Not much performance outside of, some big games here and there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we got a few guys we need to get on track, that are scuffling. I feel like a handful of guys that are swinging the bats really well.
Yeah, guys are scuffling, but they've been scuffling all year. But like I said, Miami, Texas, and now the Houston Astros are a really, really, really good team. And they're really good pitching teams. Texas is number 1 in baseball. I think Miami's number 4, and the Astros are number 6. So you just ran into a buzzsaw.
That's a little bit here as you're kind of...
I'm not making excuses, by the way. This team is soft as puppy shit. Whenever they see any pressure, they crumble. Yeah, I'm not making any excuses, but they did fall into 3 teams that are some of the best pitching teams in Major League Baseball. Side note, I know this is way off topic, but the Pittsburgh Pirates, right, have let up the fewest amount of runs in Major League Baseball this year. Number 1, fewest runs scored against their team. They're last in runs scored. So imagine being a Pittsburgh Pirates fan. Sometimes I go ape shit on this show. Just imagine being a Pittsburgh Pirates fan or a Colorado Rockies fan. But that doesn't make it any better. It doesn't make it any better that we have an inept buffoon manager and that we have a soft team. But you know what? I still think that there's a window here. Now hear me out. I'm going to put a silver lining on the end of this show. The New York Yankees historically have owned the Minnesota Twins. Then they have a day off. The Yankees play the St. Louis Cardinals, and then they play 2 against Tampa. So that's 8 games leading up to the Boston Red Sox series at home. So they have 8 games right now to get it right against subpar ball clubs and to get all their ducks in a row before they play Boston in the 3-game set, because if they go into that set and they play 4-game set against Boston, 4 games, that's what the season comes down to, is the 4-game set against Boston. And why don't you come down to Instagram at New York Minute Sports? That's NEWYRKMIN. That's New York Minute Sports on Instagram. And right here on New York Minute Sports, it's New York Sports for New York Nuts. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll be here tomorrow after the Minnesota Twins game. And you know what? It's the right time for the franchise that we own to come in, and we need to get healthy against these guys. If the Yankees do lose the series against the Twins, season's over, because that will be the canary in the coal mine, that if they lose to the Minnesota Twins, that the mojo is off and that this team cannot repair it. And if you can't be good, be bad, baby. Bye.